Today I'm playing around with some old electronics to create a circuit city. Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Stuart Wood, and in this video we're going to be creating what I call a circuit city. Now, to play on the idea of a screw city, which some of you may have seen floating around the web, where you have a lot of screws and you create like a cityscape from it, but in this video we're going to be creating a circuit city from different circuit components. So we had to get rid of some old stuff over the weekend. One of them was a computer, the other one was a TV. So out of there I pulled out a lot of the circuit boards. This is a circuit board from the back of the computer. And what we're going to do is we're going to place that in such an arrangement to make it look like it's a kind of a type of city. We'll have a play with all that stuff in a bit. So for this scene, I'm imagining a kind of a dock at a city. So obviously we need some sort of reflective surface for the water. We have the electronics for our buildings, and I'm going to be using one of my background cards for the background. So when I was stripping down the computer, I pulled out the screen. And on a side note, these screens have really great diffusing material. So check these out. Some of these are like lenses that focus the light. Some of them are great at diffusing material, like this one here. So if you're looking for diffusing material and you've got an old TV or an old computer screen lying around, then before you throw it away, you can strip out the lenses and the diffusing material and use those on a project. Now, we're not going to be using those in this project. I just thought I would mention it. Now, the screen that we have here is very reflective. So I'm going to place that onto my desk. And please be careful when you're doing this, because it is glass. If you smash it or break it like I have done just here, you are going to end up cutting yourself. I'm going to give this a quick rub down, because I have done this previously to test that it'd make a good subject for the video, and I've got fingerprints all over it. So to clean it, I'm using a Windows Spirit. This is the same stuff I use to clean my BenQ monitors. I'll give it a spray. And of course, because we're doing macro, we're only going to use, clean the part that we are actually going to photograph. So there we go. So now we've done that, we want to get the camera set up, I think. Because we're trying to pull off a kind of a cityscape, we want to get low down with the camera, so it's like imitating real life. So I have my camera right low down. And also I have it outputted to my BenQ monitor here as well. We'll leave it there. Of course, we can always adjust it afterwards. So let's start putting down some circuits. Now, I can't see a reason to use this quite yet, but we can have a look at this one, which I might put down in the background just there like that. Let's focus in on that. Okay, I'm going to bring my camera back a little bit, I think. Take a look at that then, shall we? I don't like the ports. That seems okay. But if you notice, it's a little bit high. We're floating above the water. So what I'm going to do is perform a little bit of a surgery. So what I want to do is make the bottom part here a little bit flatter. So these caps, I'm just going to pull those off. Because again, this is a broken computer. So therefore, it's never going to get repaired. I wouldn't suggest you do this to a computer that's actually working, because there's always somebody out there that could use your old computer. Okay, let's see if that's going to lie down a little bit flatter. That's a bit better. Let's have a look at that. See there? We've got that a little bit closer to our C. Now, because of that, if you look here, I don't know if you can see it on the overhead, but there's a lot of crap that's appeared onto our C, so we're just going to blow that away. Now, on a side note, I want to say that I am demonstrating how to do this, so I expect your creations to be better than mine, more creative. And again, if you want to show me your images, then you can always put them into the Macro World Facebook group where I can be able to see them. Right, so I'm going to put the CD-ROM in the background, I think, as well. In fact, I'm going to put it right in the background, I think. Let's bring this forward a bit. That's kind of like a large jigsaw puzzle in a way. You can see the CD-ROM in the background there now. Now this part I'll tear off these files because we don't want those on there. And that gives us a nice little like flow to the docks, or kind of docks. Now everything in this box here is what I got off the computer, and there's some very interesting bits in here. Like these bits are the mounts for the integrated speakers, and they could make for some interesting terrors in the background. So look what else we got in here. We have the Bluetooth USB stick for the keyboard, so we can always stand that up in the background. Let's see. Let's put it about there maybe. There we go. So you can see that up there now, looking like a terror in the background. Stack that on top of there. Although it looks like it's leaning a little bit, so maybe that's better. So if I just do the focus on that now, you can see those speaker mounts I've just placed onto the CMOS battery. Let's create a kind of a dock scene, shall we? What I'm looking for components where the bottom of the component here is flat, which sits nicely within our scene. Okay, you can come in and put about there. Yeah, we'll have this one come across. Okay, we're getting there slowly. What I want to do is I've got some larger screws here that are out of the system. Everything in this is all out of the same computer, so I'm not mixing and matching screws. They are actually all out of the same computer. And all I'm doing, I'm just placing them down, making them look like they are buildings. And definitely what you want to make sure that they're not leaning to one side, because if it's leaning to one side, it's going to make it look a little bit weird. Now, ideally, I'd like to have a circuit board that's coming up the back here as well. So it's like one of the big power circuit boards, like you get out of where the plug plugs in. The problem with those is they hold electricity, and it is actually dangerous to touch those. So I've neglected to use that. I've actually thrown that straight into the recycle bin. This is the Wi-Fi card from the computer. I'm wondering if we can somehow have it in the background, standing up. You can see there how we've got ourselves a nice little landscape image. This is a macro landscape. Frame it up like that. And there's multiple areas where we can actually focus in on. And we can also do a focus stack if we wish to. Right, I'm going to pull out a background card. Put that in there, I think. Those ones aren't big enough. I'm going to pull out these ones. These are my professional grade backgrounds. They're slightly bigger. Okay, we might have to lose the CD-ROM. Don't like that. Okay. Let's go with the light blue one. I prefer that sky over the blue one because there's too much green in that one there. On a side note, this is why I've decided not to sell these backgrounds. Can you see there how it's warped? I put it in one of my clamps and it broke the laminate on it, so it's one of the reasons I'm not selling these. I don't feel like they're up to scratch for you to be purchasing them. Okay, so let's have a look at our focusing now. We want to look at the focusing. Okay, we are going to be cropping in a little bit in post, so we will crop out the right hand side of the frame. Right, lighting. It's going to be hard for me to light this and you see it because of the video lights, of course. I have my torch that I can use just to light it up. So settings for this scene is an ISO of 50. I'm going to go with an f10, 1.5 second exposure, thereabouts. Because of that, we are going to have to use a timer. Drive mode, 2-second timer. And I'm going to focus now. Yeah, I'm going to focus on this circuit piece just here. And of course, we are going to focus in different areas. We'll see about focus stacking. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at the end of the day, you're not wasting money. It's only digital. And there you go. We have something that looks like a cityscape. So now I'm going to do a focus stack scene of this. But of course, I've got to turn off all of my video lights to get the proper one. So I will do that off camera. And here are the results of that. And of course, we will be editing these in Lightroom using my macro presets that you can check out from my website at stuartwood.com. So there you go. If you've got any old computers or TVs lying around, take them apart, create yourself a macro landscape. Of course, again, avoid the power input, the power adapter that's built into these computers. They can give you a nasty shock, so avoid that part of it. But the rest of it, you're good to go. Take it apart and create yourself a nice little cityscape. I hope you've enjoyed this video. My name is Stuart Wood. Again, as always, I'll see you on the next project. Today I'm playing around with some old electronics to create a city. Oh, it's a circuit city. That's it. We're only going to look at the lens, not the monitor. We're only going to use the look at the, and I want to get look at the lens. It's perform a little bit of a look at the lens. This is the part where you should have planned ahead, you know, and already had it stripped. Look at the lens. Yeah, look at the lens. So there you go. If you have anything lying around, take it apart, create yourself a macro landscape, a city